thank you so much for joining me for another video. And on today's video, I'm going to teach you how to make backpacking food at your house. Coming up. Hope you guys all stay with me. Okay guys, what we're going to make today is beef jerky, or jerked meat, or there's a lot of different names for it, but beef jerky is what we're going to make. So all you need for this is some beef, or you could use pork or chicken. The safest of those is probably either beef or turkey would probably be the safest too. Chicken's the one's a little bit more suspect for what I'm doing. You're gonna need a cutting board, a knife, a bowl to put the strips in once you cut them, and then whatever spices you want to use. In this case, I'm actually gonna use a couple different spices. I've got some salt, or some pepper and some salt, some cumin, some garlic, some cayenne pepper, some steak seasoning, and then just some red pepper flakes. And then of course a dehydrator. I will show in another video how to do this primitively without a dehydrator, just do it out in nature, but that'll be another video. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing we need to do is select our meat and prepare it for slicing. Real nice thin strips. Let's take a piece of that beef, and what I have here is actually brisket. There are some other meats that would probably actually be a little bit better, but brisket's not that expensive, so that's one of the reasons I use it. And seems to taste fine. So first thing we're gonna do is take off all the large hunks of fat, and make sure your knife is nice and sharp for this. And you're just, anything that's big hunks of fat. If it's small, don't worry about it, but you don't want any big pieces of fat on here for drying meat, because it'll make the meat spoil. So like all of these big pieces of fat in here we want to take off. Try not to get any meat with it, try to just get the fat so you're not wasting a bunch of meat. So okay, that piece is clean enough to suit me, doesn't have to be perfect. Looks pretty good. So we're looking for about 1/4 inch strips, approximately, and we're going to cut with the grain. You can see the grain of the meat's running this direction, and we're going to cut with the grain, not cross grain like this, with the grain. So just continue cutting slices, approximately 1/4 inch. They can be a little thicker. The thicker it is, the longer it's going to take to dry. So let's go ahead and just prepare a bunch of this. It's not that hard. 1/4 inch pieces with the grain. Once you get down to your last couple pieces, we can go ahead and start putting it on the dryer and seasoning it. Alright, next thing we're going to do is just put the meat on the dryer and just lay it out with about 1/4 inch in between the pieces of meat. Approximately. If it's, there's a spot that's a little tight, don't worry about it. But approximately. So on this one, I'm going to use Himalayan salt and pepper. That's it. So, and I'm going to put a healthy amount of salt on it, to the point where you'd be like, what? Because if you don't put a lot of salt on it, you don't even hardly taste it once it's done drying. So, just out of experience, I'm going to put quite a bit of salt on it. Alright, for this particular layer, we're going to use salt, a little bit of cumin, and a little bit of red pepper flakes. So I'll start out with the cumin. Alright, this one, we're going to do the same thing. Stick it up on the rack, up on the dryer. I'm going to use salt, pepper, a little bit of garlic, and some cayenne pepper just for a little bit of heat. So I'm going to start out with the cayenne pepper. And again, the salt's kind of one of those things, put plenty on. It also helps preserve it. Okay, same thing, put it up on the dryer. For this last rack, I'm just going to do salt and pepper again. Okay. Put this one up on the dryer. Alright, if you have any meat that's left over, just take it and put it in a Ziploc. You can stick it in the freezer and then freeze it, and then once you're gonna re-dry it, just thaw it out and stick it on the dryer. So, put it in a Ziploc, close it up, toss that in the freezer. And just put the lid on top. It will vary on what state you live in, what the moisture level of the meat is, all of those things, how thick the meat is, all those things go into play on how long it takes for the meat to dehydrate. I'll kind of show you along the way what it looks like. Generally in Colorado, it takes about 24 hours for the meat to get to the point where I feel like it's dry enough that it's not going to spoil, because I don't refrigerate mine. So I'll kind of show you along the way. Alright, it's been about 24 hours. This is what it'll look like. It looks a little bit like dried strips of leather, but tastes great. And how I like to prepare it is I like to just take it and cut it up into a bowl and then put it in a Ziploc. So that's what I'm going to do now. And there you have it, your own beef jerky. This right here probably costs about, maybe $3 or $4, and this is probably about a pound of jerky. So guys, there you have it, your own beef jerky. One of the best parts about this whole video is getting to try it. Very good. So, if you guys have any tips or techniques about making your own beef jerky, please leave them in the comments below, including recipes for how you like to make your own beef jerky. I am going to do a future video on how to dry meat like back in the wilderness without an electric dryer, so be looking out for that. And if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Please share it on your Facebook and Twitter, and consider subscribing. Thanks guys, see ya.